Mario Balotelli, the king of chaos. When people think of low IQ moments in football, one name always pops up: Mario Balotelli. He had the talent to be world class, strong, quick, lethal in front of goal. On paper, he was the perfect modern striker, but in reality, his brain was a ticking time bomb that no manager could ever defuse. This is the guy who set off fireworks inside his own bathroom, nearly burning down his house in the process. The same guy who famously wore a shirt under his jersey saying, "Why always me?" after scoring in a Manchester derby, as if he wasn't the one constantly causing the chaos in the first place. And then there are the truly absurd moments. Once, for no reason at all, he drove into a women's prison in Italy because he said he just wanted to look around. Another time, he threw darts at Manchester City youth players from a window, just for fun. Pep Guardiola would have retired early if he ever had to manage him. Balotelli's career highlight reel could have been legendary goals and trophies. Instead, it's equal parts hat tricks and red cards, wonder strikes and disciplinary hearings, genius on the pitch, an absolute comedy show off it. Nicklas Bendtner, Lord of the Meme. Nicklas Bendtner didn't just play football, he lived in his own universe. The Danish striker genuinely believed he was one of the best forwards in the world. At one point, he claimed he expected to join Real Madrid or Barcelona. Reality check. He ended up at Sunderland, barely scraping into the starting 11. His low IQ highlight reel is almost too long to list. He once showed off Paddy Power underwear after scoring at Euro 2012, instantly earning himself a €100,000 fine and a one-game ban. He crashed his car while drunk, without even having a driver's license. And of course, there was the infamous night where he was arrested for trying to break into an apartment building while drunk and wearing somebody else's trousers. Bendtner's arrogance wasn't matched by his talent, but it gave us endless entertainment. Fans loved the sheer delusion, and that's why the internet crowned him Lord Bendtner. In football history, he's not remembered as a great striker, he's remembered as the ultimate low IQ cult hero. Jeremy Menez, the professional hothead. Some players make bad decisions under pressure. Jeremy Menez made them all the time. The French winger was quick, flashy, and full of flair. He had all the tools to be a star, but he seemed allergic to discipline. Arguments with teammates? Check. Needless fouls? Check. Brainless red cards? Double check. At PSG, he managed to insult referees, ignore defensive duties, and clash with just about every coach he ever worked under. And just when fans thought he might learn from his mistakes, he packed up and repeated the same nonsense in Italy. Menez wasted more chances than most players ever get in a career. For him, low IQ wasn't just a label, it was a lifestyle. He didn't just waste talent, he set it on fire, stomped on the ashes, and walked away smirking. El Hadji Diouf, from World Cup star to walking disaster. In 2002, El Hadji Diouf was the golden boy of Senegal, leading them to a historic World Cup quarterfinal. By 2005, he was public enemy #1 in English football. His low IQ resume is endless. He spat on fans, dived constantly, and fought with teammates on and off the pitch. He earned bans for spitting at Celtic supporters, got arrested multiple times, and even his own teammates admitted they couldn't stand him. Liverpool thought they'd signed a superstar. What they really signed was a 3-year headache that made Mario Balotelli look stable. By the time he left, his reputation was in tatters. When your legacy is being called the worst striker in Liverpool history, you know your football IQ didn't quite match your hype. Diouf went from national hero to football's biggest nuisance in record time. Joey Barton, philosopher of stupidity. Joey Barton is proof that being street smart doesn't mean you're actually smart. Yes, he tried to reinvent himself as a philosopher on Twitter, quoting George Orwell, Nietzsche, and other intellectuals, but his actions on the pitch, pure caveman chaos. He once stubbed a cigar out in a teammate's eye, he assaulted a teenager in the street, he collected red cards like they were Panini stickers, and on the final day of the 2011-2012 season, Barton managed the full bingo card. He elbowed Carlos Tevez, tried to knee Sergio Aguero, fought with half of Manchester City's team, and had to be physically dragged off the pitch. A self-proclaimed intellectual who played like a Sunday League thug, that's Joey Barton in one sentence. Antonio Cassano, the eternal child. Antonio Cassano was blessed with magic feet and a childish brain. He once admitted to sleeping with over 700 women, eating Nutella before matches, and fighting with literally every coach he ever had. Fabio Capello, Marcelo Lippi, Roberto Mancini, you name them, Cassano had a public bust-up with them. When Real Madrid signed him, they thought they were buying a star. Instead, they got a player more interested in arguing with teammates than scoring goals. At one point, he admitted he used to reward himself with pastries after every goal, which might explain his fluctuating weight. Cassano's career is the dictionary definition of what could have been. He wasn't unlucky, he was just too stubborn, too childish, and too lazy to realize that raw talent needs discipline to shine. Low IQ, more like no IQ. Adriano, the emperor who self-destructed. Adriano should have been the next Ronaldo. Instead, he became one of football's great tragedies. At Inter Milan, he was unstoppable. Power, pace, and a left foot like a rocket launcher. He scored from anywhere, bullied defenders, and looked destined to dominate for a decade. But off the pitch, he surrounded himself with the wrong people. Parties, alcohol, and skipping training became the norm. After his father's death, Adriano spiraled further into depression and nightlife. Teammates begged him to focus, but he disappeared into Brazil's club scene and returned overweight, unfit, and unrecognizable. The Emperor had the tools to be a legend. Instead, his low IQ decisions turned him into a cautionary tale. Talent doesn't survive stupidity. Ricardo Quaresma, the wasted magician. Ricardo Quaresma had the skills of Cristiano Ronaldo, but the brain of a Sunday League player. Every manager who coached him said the same thing. Too selfish, too inconsistent, too unwilling to learn. Instead of becoming a global superstar, he bounced around Europe, Barcelona, Inter, Chelsea, failing to stick anywhere. His obsession? The outside foot trivela shot. It was beautiful when it worked, but he tried it so often that it became predictable and frustrating. He loved his one trick so much, he forgot to learn anything else. When your whole career is built on one move, you're not a genius. You're a magician who refuses to evolve. Quaresma's low IQ wasn't stupidity, it was stubbornness disguised as flair. Paul Gascoigne, genius meets madness. Paul Gaza Gascoigne was one of England's greatest talents, but also one of its most self-destructive. His low IQ decisions weren't just about football. They bled into every part of his life, from alcohol addiction to bizarre incidents like showing up at a crime scene with beer and chicken to help a murderer. Gaza blurred the line between comedy and tragedy. On the pitch, he was unpredictable brilliance, capable of goals and assists nobody else could dream of. Off the pitch, he was unpredictable chaos, capable of doing things nobody else would even imagine. His legacy is loved because of his genius, but it's also heartbreaking. Gaza is a reminder that talent alone can't save you from yourself. Hatem Ben Arfa. Too smart for his own good. Hatem Ben Arfa thought he was smarter than every coach he ever had. Spoiler, he wasn't. He was an incredible dribbler, unstoppable on his day. Some of his solo goals at Newcastle looked like video game cheat codes. But for every moment of magic, there were 10 games where he vanished completely. At PSG, he thought he'd finally made it big. Instead, he spent more time in the reserves than on the pitch because he refused to listen, adapt, or accept discipline. His arrogance outweighed his ability, and his stubbornness cost him a real career at the top. Low IQ doesn't always mean being clueless. Sometimes it means being too stubborn to learn. Ben Arfa proved it. Kevin Prince Boateng, the career tourist. Kevin Prince Boateng had everything: skill, physique, charisma, but instead of building a legacy, he became football's ultimate tourist. From AC Milan to Las Palmas to even Barcelona, his career reads like a backpacking trip through Europe's top clubs. Why? Because he could never stay disciplined enough to settle. Boateng once admitted he skipped training to play PlayStation. He blew millions on parties and cars, living like a celebrity first and a footballer second. For him, the professional life was boring. The good life was irresistible. Low IQ footballers chase the lifestyle, not the legacy. Boateng made that his personal brand. Royston Drenthe, from Real Madrid to rapper. When Real Madrid signed Royston Drenthe, they thought they'd found the next Dutch superstar. Instead, they found a rapper in football boots. Drenthe admitted he cared more about music, nightlife, and money than the game itself. Within just a few years, he went from the Bernabeu to obscurity. His low IQ moment wasn't one single mistake, it was treating football like a side hustle. By the time he realized what he'd thrown away, it was already too late. Drenthe didn't just waste his career, he performed a full disappearing act, swapping Champions League nights for rap battles.